And good morning. Let the Monday morning ruckus begin right now. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, bringing you things you might not have heard for today, which is actually things you might have heard for the last couple days, actually. Monday, October 3rd, 2022, the date of this broadcast, whether you're watching it video live in the future or listening to the audio podcast version. Thank you so much for being a part of the family with the Conversation Project and things you might have heard. Today, extended family, because it is Monday. We do extended video family for folks on the streaming. So we'll say hello to folks on the J. Cleveland Payne YouTube page, J. Cleveland Payne Facebook profile, and the Facebook or the LinkedIn page for me, J. Cleveland Payne. Properly acting right, so we'll get things going today. We have 10 stories for you this morning, 10 stories vetted by you as most conversational from the past weekend. We went from about 93 different stories for the weekend from Friday to this morning, and we picked from the top 30, 10 good stories you can go off on your coffee chat, your tea chat, your pizza chat. Maybe you're a pizza in the morning person. You can chat it up with these stories and have a good conversation with folks of things that they might not have heard, so you can seem a little bit on the stick. We at this place call ourselves your tertiary news source, your news side piece, if you will. And we got stories that you definitely missed in the main drag of news, but I think we'll pull up some pretty big eyeballs around folks when you give them the tips on this one. Find out more information about what you can do with us, including finding out how to sign up for our newsletters and other ways to support us here at the main website. This is conversationproject.com. On with the news. Let's kick it off with the best news ever, not the most popular one. We'll get to that in a bit. The best news, I think, of the weekend. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson takes ceremonial oath at Supreme Court in investiture, word I can't pronounce. But yeah, she is now officially, as ceremony has it, the next Supreme Court justice, the now new ninth justice, sitting far to the right because she's the youngest tenured justice for our Supreme Court in the United States. She now takes over and will basically go over the same court cases that we've been seeing for the last couple of years, actually. They're still basically, they're still going back over Roe versus Wade, still going back over a lot of things in litigation, just rehashing things with a new spin, although the spin isn't new, that the makeup doesn't really change very much on the court. It's just the way things play out. We're going to see how well Judge Jackson is going to portray herself on the court. A much different look, if you will, that the first black woman, not the first woman, not the first black woman on the court, as promised by Joe Biden. And there's nothing wrong with that. We will see if, because some of the guys are coming of age, there'll be any new court appointees in the next 2 years of Joe Biden's case and whoever is going to run in the next election. Most likely, this 2 years will be pretty uneventful in chess pieces of people on the court. We're just going to see how things happen for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, now officially in the robes of the Supreme Court of the U.S. of A. Matt Gaetz votes no on relief money as Florida grapples with Hurricane Ian aftermath. This is something that is not as puzzling as it should seem, but it is. Matt Gaetz, a representative from the Florida state, the state of Florida, the Sunshine State, voted against the package for relief money to send to Floridians in Hurricane Ian aftermath. So what does that really mean to us? It means that Matt Gaetz is still being Matt Gaetz. Read the article for his rationale against this, but it's one thing to just sort of own the libs. It's something else to shoot yourself in the foot. This is something that's pretty easy to figure out. Matt Gaetz didn't vote for this thing. In fact, I don't think Marco Rubio voted for this, and then he was called out on this over the weekend in some of the Sunday shows. We just happen to have an article on Matt Gaetz, so we have that to talk about here. This is something you can talk about. Do they deserve any aid? That's the real question. Should we be rebuilding people who are building their houses literally on sand and in the wake of hurricanes? Although most hurricanes come to the eastern side, not the western side. So this is something that is not exactly a thing that they expect every single season. But should we be rebuilding this stuff? That's an actual question that many people are asking, and many people are saying the answer should be no. Now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's attendance at Charles's coronation, not a given. That's a quote. Why would this be? Well, there's still some beefing between the family. The firm is having some issues with their Harry and Markle problem, Harry and Meghan problem, which is still a problem, if you will. Um, Essentially, Meghan Markle went to the UK, married a prince. She's American, she's black, she's also a divorcee, and the tabloids went nuts on it, like they do on stuff. Although the tabloids over there have a tendency to go extra nuts so racist on it, which they do over there. And so, with the weirdness about the kids being mixed, and will they come out like darkish or something? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle decided to go to the States and be regular people, and that seems to be working, oddly enough. Maybe not to the grand mark that people expected, but it seems to be working for the most part. The problem is, there's a lot of roles that should be taken up by Prince Harry and Princess Meghan that they could be taken up if they weren't having that big schism between them and the brothers. That's Harry and William themselves, and Charles, who has to kind of now work this thing out, being the new king. Because of this, the fact that the Windsor Markles may not be in attendance for the coronation because it's just not a good political look is something that is there. Do you care? You cared enough to vote this into the range to be picked for the top 10 stories, or the 10 stories for the day. So you cared that much. And like I always see, a Meghan Markle Harry story always gets eyeballs. This one did as well. You can say on that end. Now, this one I read 300 different times and almost got to think about Doctor Who, the TV series, but it's not Doctor Who. It is actually Doctor Who cleared Tua Tagovailoa to play has been fired for making severe mistakes in case. This is basically a 2-week story because it got even worse over Thursday with Tua playing in Thursday Night Football and being beat up again, which going to lead to some concussion protocols changing officially pretty fast. But Tua Tagovailoa was playing on Sunday, got a severe hit his head against the ground very hard, and the doctor, an independent contractor, not a team doctor per se, who cleared him to go back onto the field and then play horribly because he was basically concussed. The old rub some dirt on it and walk it off. He got fired from his gig, so he's no longer part of the team. However, something happened again this weekend, another bad play, or at least bad for him, that bounced him off the rug again and gave him another big issue. The concussion protocol will be something checked into very, very closely now because of what's going on, specifically to Tua. But one, it would help if the Dolphins had some kind of line that could, keep him safe. And two, the concussion protocols need to be checked out anyway because people get hurt in a game where the point is to beat people down into the ground. So there you go. Safety should be first. Never is. Safety should be first. A good O-line should be first. That's what should be there. This is a very sad story. Indonesian soccer match riot. Stampede leaves more than 120 dead. Now, this is a soccer match in a town in Indonesia where the team is people are so rabid about the team that in most cases, they don't actually let the visiting team bring in any spectators because it could get bad. Here's an example. It got bad when the visiting team won this match. And in the process, the people started to kind of get antsy. The police shot off tear gas, which oddly enough is not allowed in soccer matches for international soccer for reasons like this. There were scrambles, there was panic, there was all sorts of insanity. People got beat down with sticks, also something looked down upon in soccer matches. 120 total dead in the riot, including a few police officers in the scene. There's be more investigations and deeper stories into what happened here, but this is something that was probably preventable, at least probably should not have escalated to the point of 120 people dead in one soccer match. We shall get more details on this going down the line. Putin declares annexation of Ukrainian lands in Kremlin ceremony. This is the story as we had it come Friday, which he did Friday morning-ish, basically proclaiming the lands that just had these referendum elections that said 97% of the people with 3% chance of error said, yeah, we want to be part of Russia, despite the fact they're actually being occupied by Russia and weren't really looking to be a part of Russia before they got occupied. No one on the eastern side, no one on the western side of Ukraine, by the way, is asking for annexation. Just the eastern country parts that are, have been invaded. However, this got really, really weird as many of those places were dealing with more warring, and one very crucial province actually was freed literally around the same time that Putin was signing paperwork for the annexation. Now, what's going to happen? The original part of the story was, annexations happen, the parliament's just going to rubber stamp it, and this thing's going to happen. However, now the places that they have claimed as Russia are now, technically, by their standards, occupied by Ukrainians, while the Ukrainians believe they have liberated their land. That may be a big issue, a bigger issue, other than Russia rolling in and trying to take over land that was not theirs. We shall see how this plays out when Parliament actually does what it's going to do, ratify the orders to annex those places, and what the world will do in retaliation, specifically the Ukrainians. A 4-foot shark was filmed swimming in a flooded backyard after Hurricane Ian pummeled Southwest Florida, deemed real. Now, there is some viral video out there. Every time there's a big hurricane, there's a viral video of something floating around, some shark, floating down the street. A 4-foot something that was filmed as a shark was swimming in the backyard in Ian, in somewhere in the flooded areas in Southwest Florida. And people are saying it's real. People are saying this is not a hoax. This is not fake. This is a real shark, a real something floating around, a real fin, not necessarily going jaws and chomping on people, but something floating around, a little 4-foot thing who was swimming around in the backyard in the flooded areas. No one was able to find a shark as the waters receded, so we can't say, this is the shark. But this video that's gone viral, and I'm plenty of many, I'm sure, out there, but this one particular video going viral actually is the real deal. Cardinals J.J. self-reports irregular heartbeat, plans to play Sunday. This was posted on Saturday as it was. Here's what happened. On Wednesday, during practice, J.J. Watt had some issues. He went to the doctor, found he had an irregular heartbeat. I don't have the full name of whatever, but he had like a serious cardiac issue going on in his chest, enough they had to put a defibrillator on him and shock him to get his heart back in rhythm. This happened on Thursday after the diagnosis. Yesterday, he played football for the Cardinals. Because he did. He had a very emotional speech after the game, talking about playing for his new daughter, playing for his team, just stuff like that, and how the stuff means stuff. Being here was the most important thing, of course, not so much the football, but the being here part in his health on that end. But it's just a scary situation, and something that, goes to the toughness and sometimes goes to the just pig-headedness of sometimes these athletes. If you think you're going to get shocked in the heart because you have cardiac issues on Thursday and then play on Sunday, you either real man or real not so bright in this case. I'm a fan of J.J. Watt, but this is one that he could have probably sat out this one. The story you've all been waiting for, because this is a story that was voted up by like a jillion% basically as the most conversational story for the weekend, posted early in the weekend. Antonio Brown exposes himself to stunned guests in hotel pool. Antonio Brown does not have a job at the moment. He was playing for the Bucks, and now he's not. So he's hanging out in Dubai at a hotel in the water, and he's sitting there with his junk out. And there's video of him walking or sitting in the pool, showing stuff off. You can go to the link and watch the video if you want to. You can know that he got kicked out of the hotel after, showing off his junk to some women he's hanging out in the pool, even though they seemed a little friendly at the beginning till he started, exposing himself. Antonio Brown will face whatever consequences he will on this one. But this is one that you guys enjoyed. This is one that I was a little hesitant to put out there. Like I said, we have to post things to keep the kitty fed all day long, all night long. It got posted fairly early, although I think it was a middle of the night thing. And I guess the world picked up on it, even if Erin Burnett didn't quite pick up on this one over the weekend, although she didn't do anything on the weekend. She's a Monday through Friday person. And we wrap up a Lil Nas X Pauses Concert due to a bathroom emergency. So here's the deal. Lil Nas X is performing on stage, doing his stuff, stops, takes a break, hits to the back, has a number 2. It was, yeah, it was one of them things where you paid money to see little Nas X, and he didn't quite clear his bowels and bladder beforehand, and had a little bit of an issue going on performing when he had to actually stop the thing. Read the article. It's funny. It's a little bit weird, but Lil Nas X is funny and a little bit weird. It all fits. It's his brand. Teaser story. We may talk about this tomorrow if you deem this one necessary. GameStop reportedly it's struggling to fulfill pre-orders for games. Now, GameStop is a meme stock, if you will, one of those stonks that they talk about that really isn't doing very much. In fact, the company's not doing well at all, yet because it's cheap, if enough people have bought it and raised it up to a profile level where it's making people money, if you sell out at the right point. GameStop right now having a hard time actually getting any job done, any work done, fulfilling pre-orders for games right now. GameStop, the retail market for games, the brick and mortar store market should not be dying. It should be, not doing so well, but you should be able to go to a store and grab things every so often because it's there, even though the cheapness and the availability of doing things online is so easy. Sometimes it's easier to just roll up the store, go showroom for a bit and come down. GameStop having issues with that. We can go deeper into that if you want to, if you deem this one a worthy story. Check out our feeds on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/this is a conversation project and twitter.com/th_conversation. And we will see if this is one that you deem worthy tomorrow. Like Mjolnir, you have to be deemed worthy to carry it, and we'll see if that happens. Right now, you may deem this worthy of your attention. That is YouTube TV. This is the conversation project.com/YouTube TV is our affiliate link for YouTube TV. And here's what you get from them. Not only can you actually watch 85 plus live channels, you can actually kind of pick and choose now. You can go a la carte with various things and get things you want for a little bit cheaper and get just the premium things or the big things. If you don't need the local stuff, you just need the premium stuff, you can go a la carte and do that as well. Now, if you get the main package, you get your local channels from your local affiliates wherever you are. If you're traveling and you log in someplace that's not where your home is, it'll ask you where you are, so you get the local affiliates in local time, real time, and of course local news, which is really what you're looking for. Plus great stations like the sports stations, Fox Sports 1, ESPN, MSNBC, NFL Network. Red Zone is now there. I got Red Zone this year and I'm loving having Red Zone this season. Check it all out for a great deal, and they'll give you $30 off your first month. How about that? We get a little bit of kickback when you use this link, so we appreciate it. This is a conversationproject.com/YouTube TV, and you can be watching what is right now the leader in streaming services. YouTube TV is the leader. It's out of the box. The guys that people are going to is this service. See why at YouTube TV by seeing us at this is a conversationproject.com/YouTube TV. Let's go to chat about me quickly, or chat about the Conversation Project at thisisaconversationproject.com, the main home for the Conversation Project. Find out more about what we do behind the scenes and what we do in front of the scenes and what we do in between the scenes. How you like how that went there? Also, we have links for other sponsorships, opportunities, other sponsors out there who can help you out, and partnership opportunities that you can help us keep things going here as well. Plus, like I said, details on our legacy stuff and the things we're trying to put out of the gate real soon here from the Conversation Project. Because this is a morning show of sorts, we do morning show stuff, and that starts now with our birthdays for today. You may not have known these people have birthdays today. We're going to just call it the gal. Start off with Gwen Stefani, who can holler back if she wants to, 53 years old on the day. Nev Campbell is 49 years old on today. And Tessa Thompson, of course, playing Valkyrie in the Thor movies and also starring in the Creed movies and just doing great stuff. 39 years old on this day. Today, we're celebrating Mean Girl Appreciation Day. Why we do that? Because on this day, on October 3rd, she asked, "What day is today?" And he said, October 3rd. And it was the most dashing, amazing thing that ever happened, even though it could have been just as simple as, well, today's October 3rd. So on October 3rd day, you celebrate Mean Girls, the appreciation of the movie, not so much being a mean girl, although if you are a mean girl, I guess you can shout yourself out if you want to. But it's Mean Girls Appreciation Day, October 3rd, the perfect day. At least I guess it started out the perfect day. Going out the door, one last thing to get into your earballs. How many times have you heard a skin cream claim it has deep penetration action? Well, don't believe it because it is impossible, according to a study by the University of Bath, that's in Germany. There is no way the nanoparticles of skin cream can carry nutrients deep under the surface of the skin as they claim, because the skin acts as a barrier, keeping nanoparticles out of the body. That's its job, as well as inside the body, because that's its job. The so-called penetrating action from skin cream comes from deposits into creases and not under the surface. So what your cream actually does is in the very tiny creases, it kind of fills it up, just in those spots in there, and kind of levels it out, if you will. Although it's micro stuff, microdermatology stuff, big word, I don't know. But it doesn't actually deeply penetrate your skin, because that means you'd be bleeding, or bleeding. Pretty much, you'd be bleeding. That has been it. The things you might have heard for this day, Monday, October 3rd, 2022, as we broadcast this recording, or as you're listening to the podcast version of this episode. You can get the podcast episode, or get the make sure you sign up for this on the full-time feeds by going to our website. This is aconversationproject.com, and you will find links to all the stuff, all the things, all the activities there as well. You can also find a link to sign up for a newsletter, which is coming out about 30 seconds ago, actually went out, which has the full links to everything we talked about, plus a few extra surprises for you as well. You can check that out and subscribe. That we can use a few extra subscribers, to be honest. We need some more subscribers to our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe and hit notifications so that you get this notification at 5:50 every single weekday morning. It'll be 6:50 in Eastern Standard Time, I guess. And just join us for another day of stuff. Stay hydrated, stay limber, stay on task. We need you sticking around for great things to stick around for. What are those great things? Well, only you can do them, so you know what they are better than I do. But we need you here. We need us all to be here. And let's be here tomorrow. We'll work on that. Already stories being posted every 50 minutes at our feed, so you can check them out. And as you check them out, as you engage with them, we'll find out what stories we'll be chatting up in the next day.